Hello, and welcome to the second ever connection reading on this channel. So exciting! Found a great little spot and not as big as I was planning. So the connection reading has to be a little bit smaller because the way I was imagining that I was going to do it was going to be like humongous. So now we're going to have to shorten it down, and I think this reading is going to be very spirit led. What spirits, you might ask? Well, my spirit guides and your spirit guides. Who are my spirit guides? I am tapping into Kali Ma and Hecate and Lilith and Mother Earth and Buddha and JC, Jesus Christ. We got all of them today. Tapping into the universe, tapping into your heart, tapping into your ego. I'm going to try to consecutively check my mic because I charged one part of it but not the other one. So today's reading was requested by my number one supporter, Maya. Let's go. Let's give it up for Maya. Maya, thank you so much for your, what's it called? Ugh. Thank you very much for your suggestion on this connection reading that I'm doing. It is many weeks too late, but we are finally here. It's spirit-led timing. So without wasting time, let's begin. We're doing Capricorn and Gemini. Capricorn and Gemini. Connection reading. Connection reading. Capricorn, Gemini. Capricorn and Gemini. Capricorn and Gemini. Capricorn and Gemini. Okay. I feel the need to speed things up. Capricorn and Gemini. Okay. Who is this Capricorn as a person? Okay. How do they feel about Gemini? How do they feel outside of Gemini? Okay. Who is Gemini? How do they feel about Capricorn? How do they feel outside of Capricorn? Okay. And for clarifying cards, we'll take from the Santa Muerte deck. Oh, yes. The internal, the connection. So, oh my god, Capricorn wants to fly away. Capricorn seems a little bit flighty. Wait, right away, the number one energy that I got from the pictures that came out was they look like the same person, maybe different genders. Maybe Capricorn looks like more masculine, and then Gemini looks more like Miley Cyrus. So I was thinking like feminine, but honestly, yeah, that's the vibe I'm getting. But they look the same, but different vibes, and it's definitely a Gemini vibe. Twins, right? So you guys could be literally the same rather than opposites. Gemini. The main zodiac signs we got are Virgo, Gemini, and Taurus. So who is Capricorn? Capricorn is a bit. Let's clarify. Who is Capricorn? Who is? I heard he. Eight of Swords, Nine of Pentacles. Yeah. Uh, Eight of Swords, upright, Nine of Pentacles in reverse. 10 of Wands in reverse. Okay. So Capricorn thinks that they are evolved. They think that they've made it to the next level. They think that they're past whatever they have to get past. They're near it, but they're not quite there. They actually took a shortcut of some kind. They actually, I think, yeah, rushed something too quickly, and now they think they're at the end, but they're not. And actually, it's gonna come back to bite them in the ass. But not even come back to bite them in the ass. It's already biting them, and it's already like gnawing at them. Like, this isn't quite finished. Like, you didn't quite do this right. You should go back. You should go back and fix this. And they might be lying to themselves, like, no, no. But it's gonna keep gnawing at them, and they're not gonna get what they want. I wanna know, what is this about? Like, what do they? Nine of Swords in reverse. Something about their mentality, something about their ego, something about their communication, something about their thoughts. They might think that, God, what? 10 of Swords. We got the 8, 9, 10 of Swords. They are going through it. They wanted to end up in one place. They wanted to, the goal, the end goal was to be a macho sort of figure, be super strong, make it home a hero. But because of the shortcuts they took and because they're lying to themselves, the actual end goal that they're going towards is a massive ego death. Massive. This is no shortcuts. This is perpetual, day after day. Monday, it's denial. Tuesday, it's suffering. And then Wednesday, it's total despair, ego death. It's total lethargy. They are in it. Okay? Maybe even if you're Capricorn and you're watching this video, maybe me saying that you took some shortcuts and you're lying to yourself, maybe that even caused it. Like, in this moment, you're like, no, I'm not. And then, like, you caught yourself and you're like, whoa, I'm lying to myself. Oh my God, I'm lying to myself about this. What else am I lying to myself about? Like, oh my God, is it all a lie? So that's Capricorn. What the hell? What is going on with you? I wish I could help you, but I already did. Anyways, specifically to the connection. What is Capricorn's feelings or mood or attitude towards Gemini? We got the King of Pentacles in the Hierophant in reverse. And they think that Gemini is kind of a sweetie. They think that they're kind of sweet. They think that they're a treat. Capricorn thinks Gemini is a treat. Capricorn thinks Gemini is a piece of sweet ass. Capricorn wants to. Capricorn feels like they're showing up to Gemini very hot as well. Um, they're thinking, oh, I know how to smooth talk this person over. I know how to look good for this person. And let me do it this way. and it's not the authentic way. To Capricorn, it's actually a different way that kind of shows off their energy, but isn't actually them. They're coming across as very stable though, and I feel like even the King of Pentacles, that's like, I want to show up for this person. I want to give them stability. I want to treat them right. I want to I want to give them gifts. I want to pay for their food. I want to bombard them. No. Um, let's clarify the Hierophant in reverse. Why is the Hierophant in reverse? The Empress in reverse is kind of sad. It's kind of empty. It kind of lacks soul. Because let me tell you, Capricorn, they thought that they were the shit. They thought that they were God. But they thought it. They weren't actually embodying it. So in there, I feel like Gemini is just a mirror to them of like showing. It's just like it's Capricorn is empty without spirit. So they're showing up to Gemini and they might be trying to fake the spirit, fake the funk, fake the hot, fake the personality, fake the connection to God. And they just can't. And yeah, it's showing up. It's showing up as a lack in their movement towards Gemini. They might show up and they might be able to like lavish you with gifts and be very grounded and stable and be a shoulder to cry on, but they're not going to say the right things. They're not going, the energy isn't going to be right. Something's going to be missing. Something's going to be off. And it's because of Capricorn in this instance. Okay. How does Capricorn feel outside of Gemini? Like when they're not thinking of Gemini or not in Gemini space. Oh, we got the Page of Pentacles and the Queen of Cups in reverse. That was confirmation actually. And excuse me if that grossed you out. I know that's not a typical confirmation that you see on these videos, but I think that they are thinking about Gemini pretty much all the freaking time. They're like it feels like a love-hate relationship, honestly. But when you hate someone, it's giving an obsessive energy. It's giving, oh well, it's Gemini's fault I'm like this. Well, it's Gemini's fault that I'm feeling like this. Well, it's because Gemini is the wrong vibe, and that's why I'm showing off as the wrong vibe. Ugh, like it's just Gemini. Let me like go find someone else, and I will show up with spirit, and I will show up in the correct vibe. Let's clarify. Is that gonna happen? Spirit, Five of Swords. No, it's actually sending them backwards. They're gonna start at the very beginning, whereas if they just kind of use Gemini as a proper mirror, they can progress. I was literally gonna say faster. They're going to finish the ego death faster, and the timing is just gonna be faster, and they're not gonna have to one step forward, two steps back. They're not going to keep going back. They could just get this over with, get this ego death over with, and figure out what the hell they need to figure out, which I'm so curious about. I want to know. I want to help you, Capricorn. I want to help you a little bit more. Okay, what what do you need to hear at this time? What is it that you're struggling with? What is it that you're not seeing? What is something that will be exposed to you via this? I literally saw this. I literally saw that card in my mind. That's crazy. And then all these other freaking cards. Let's see if I can get a quick message out of all of these cards flipping over. I feel like I chose to pick up that card, and I was like, oh, if I'm going to pick this card, I have to take all of them. Okay, so love, 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 the sun, 10 of earth, 9 of air again, wheel of life, ace of air, 3 of earth. Book in for a personal reading, Capricorn. No, but for real. But for real. But for real. Just one card, please. Nope, just one card, please. But for real. Be for real, just one card. So messy. So, oh my god, I'm so agitated. I'm so tired. I feel embarrassed by my I feel embarrassed by the tactics I am taking to find the answer. Okay? So that was the message for Capricorn. I just want to say more. I want to say more. Maybe you start slow. Maybe I don't even think that's the what spirit wants you to do. I feel like the best path forward for Capricorn is to actually do things the way that you do them and unapologetically. Stop thinking that someone's mad at you, or if they are mad at you, then like that's their problem. That's not your problem. If it works for you, it works. Because ego death, bottom line, at the end of it, at the bottom of an ego death, it's just insecurity about the way that you do things, and you're putting your own thoughts into how people are perceiving you because that's the way you perceive yourself. And you could say because that's the way you were brought up, that's the way your parents perceived you. Maybe you had not the best parents, and they made you feel bad about everything that you do, and so in order to compensate that, you became kind of very um, in order to compensate with your parents being angry at everything that you do in your adult life, you just do everything very angrily because you think everyone's angry at you. So you're like, fuck everyone, I'm going to do it the way I do it. But then when you do it the way you do it and you're trying to impress someone and it's someone that you actually like and care for, and you do something, you get angry at yourself and you're thinking, oh, this person, Gemini, is angry at me. It's kind of like your usual tactic isn't working, and so you're actually becoming very upset at yourself, and you're thinking Gemini is upset at me, and so you're becoming upset at Gemini. You understand? You get what I'm saying here? You may, you know. So that's Capricorn there. Okay, I'm gonna leave. Actually, I'm gonna pick them up because the wind especially wants to blow Capricorn away. These things that you're feeling, Capricorn, are especially unnecessary. No one wants to see that. No one wants to see that, Capricorn. Do something else. Okay, listen. That's what your card mostly is showing. Like there's bursting out of his ears. Like just listen for a while. Stop talking. You just have to go through it. You just have to go through the timing. That's all you got to do with the Ten of Swords. Things will get better. I promise. All you have to do right now is push through and not hurt yourself. That's all you have to do at this moment. Moving on to Gemini. Yes, Gemini. Woo, ooh, ooh, ooh. Staying alive, staying alive. Staying alive, staying alive. You can tell when I move that fucking lose man. Okay. Who is Gemini? We got Virgo, the Hermit, the Ten of Cups in reverse, and the Nine of Cups. Ugh, okay. Nine of Cups. Damn. That's what I was just thinking. I was thinking that like Gemini is also in this energy of staying alive, death. Gemini is also in this energy of like I gotta stay alive, but they went through the ego death and they kind of know what Capricorn is going through. They're not happy themselves, like Gemini isn't, but they know that it could happen. They know that it will happen eventually. They're just at the lower end of the wave. I don't know if this means that Gemini has probably been, yeah, I think Gemini has already gone through the ego death, whereas like Capricorn is like actively they're literally actively dying whereas Gemini has already died and been reborn. And with Virgo, the Hermit, it could mean that they are sort of celibate, they're keeping themselves hungry, they are keeping themselves perished. I wonder why. Why is Gemini fasting at this moment? Knight of Cups. I think Gemini is putting all of their trust into the universe and having the universe feed them when they need to. It's sort of giving like putting it into God's hands, putting your faith into God, being like, you know what, if I feel like an extra human being on this earth, I'm just going to let God, let the universe provide for me because I don't want to take from anyone else. It is like a very selfless energy. But I just got the Justice in reverse. Can you tell me anything else? Am I missing something? Two of Swords. I am missing something. I have to look at that again. So we got the Ten of Cups, the Hermit, the Knight of Cups, and Death. Clarify the Knight of Cups. What is Gemini? Why is Gemini starving themselves? We got the King of Cups in reverse and the Knight of Cups in reverse? What? What? Can you clarify? Ooh, it's not Capricorn. It's not Capricorn. Someone else from Gemini's past has drained them. And so they're still starving that way. But they're not dead. But why does it feel like Gemini is like purposefully starving themselves though? It feels like Gemini going towards Capricorn is also another effort to starve themselves. Like they're literally going down. They're going to the Nine of Cups. They're like, this person is like not giving me anything. Let me go to Capricorn. Because that's what I deserve, because that's what I know. They're literally starving me and I'm meant to be starved. So because I'm not going to nourish myself, because like it's giving monastery, it's giving like lifelong commitment, um it's giving life of a person who has converted to, serve God. That could be like, I'm thinking monks, nuns, people who are celibate, people who can't marry, priests. Like it's giving that sort of energy where it's like, I'm limited, I'm not going to give this to myself. I'm a martyr. And so I'm not going to, I literally already said, I'm not going to feed myself. I'm waiting for God to feed me. So when it comes to choosing company, yeah, I'm going to go to someone who is also starving. Okay. That was heavy though. Seven of Swords. That's heavy though. Seven of Swords. But like Gemini just has a little bit more of a consciousness about this. Because it's like I don't even know how to judge Gemini for this. Like, what? Like when people make these choices for their life, all outsiders can kind of do is like, damn, like I can't really change your mind because you know what's best for you because of your own lived experiences. Ooh. Gemini and Capricorn, please take this moment to go get some water or some coffee or some matcha or some chai or some tea and just fill yourself up, okay? Okay, we're going to move on to Gemini's feelings towards Capricorn, although we kind of already said it. Lovers in reverse. And the reason I'm reacting like that is because Gemini's feelings about themselves, like outside of Capricorn, is Lovers upright. And Lovers is the Gemini card. So Gemini literally feels fuller and more at peace and more like themselves and more together and more whole without without Capricorn's energy. Fuck, Capricorn is literally draining Gemini at the moment, okay? At the moment. At the moment. Capricorn just needs to figure their own stuff out. Please. Please. They need to be alone. And Gemini also probably would probably benefit from being alone. Let's ask. What's Gemini's energy outside of Capricorn? Outside of their connection with Capricorn, what's Gemini's energy? The world, but it didn't fly out. Gemini's energy outside of Capricorn? What's Gemini's energy outside of Capricorn? We got the moon. Darkness. It's going to be scary. But you're either afraid of the dark or you're not. Like, it's kind of like a learned fear if you are afraid of the dark, if you are afraid of being lonely, if you are afraid of not knowing what's next. It's control. That's what it is. It's the fear of not being in control. It's the fear of not having control. When you're in the dark, you're basically a nocturnal animal who's living life. Like, we as animals are not going out into the darkness all afraid and thinking, I just hope this ends quickly because it's easier to be dead than it is to be alive. Like, no. That's zero survival instinct. We have survival instinct. We're going to find food. We have hope. We know we're going to survive. We know we're going, because we're searching for it. We're searching for it. And when we find it, we nourish ourselves. So you go into the dark, you're like, I need to find a place to sleep. You're looking for it, and then eventually you find it. The night is long. You don't just give up, because if you give up, you're gonna be eaten. And also, you're just gonna stand there. That's zero survival instinct. In the dark, you keep moving, and that also keeps you safe, because you also put your faith in God. You also put your faith in your spiritual guides. They're guiding you. How many times have you experienced miracles in this life where you're like, oh my God, damn, like, I really wasn't paying attention, but it just magically kind of aligned perfectly. Like, oh my God, I've lived this long, and it's all thanks to being at the right place at the right time, because I just keep moving. I'm not really sure where I'm going, but all of a sudden, like, I stop to tie my shoe, and then like a truck drives on the road in front of me. Like, whoa, those types of things, those types of miracles. Oh, 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 oh. Yeah. There's less cards for Gemini. I want to give you something else. My bad. Okay, well, what do you have to... What can help you nourish yourself at this time? What can help you nourish yourself? Ooh, 2 cards. I'm not going to take them because they were the same for Capricorn. Oh, shit. Capricorn is flying away. Let Capricorn fly away. Just let them go. Let them leave. I will read the cards. It was the 9 of Air and the World. No, the Wheel. Sorry. The 9 of Air and the World. What would help you nourish yourself? Also experiencing grief. Just because you've been through an ego death and you're like, oh, I've experienced the worst of the worst. The Wheel tells us that you're always going to go through an ego death. That's the way of life. You're never going to... With the death card too, you're always dying and always being reborn, and it's always going to hurt. And the fact that you've already been through it and you consciously remember this ego death, you might be thinking, oh, like, that made me stronger and I can handle it again. But it could also have you be like, I never want to experience that again. And you might be actually avoiding it. Even though you know that it literally made you a phoenix and it made you so much stronger, you might be avoiding it because you're like, That actually hurts so fucking badly. I don't want to keep going. That's the thing though. Literally, here's the image that I'm getting in my mind. People who work out, right? People who work out just for one competition, they're going hard. They're going to the gym every day out of nowhere, right? They go to the competition, they win or they don't win, whatever. It doesn't really matter. And they never do it again because their goal was just that competition. Or their goal is just like, I want to be the best. I want to win all the trophies. And so they keep doing all of this sports, all this weightlifting, all of this like working out until they hit 30 or yeah, 30s, their 30s, and their body breaks apart. And they're like, that's a natural thing for athletes to go through. Their body breaks apart. They're like, because you pushed yourself so hard, that's naturally what you, some people consciously in their head, they're like, that's what I'm working towards because all I care about is right now. And then there are people who you meet and they're like 60 or 70 and they're athletes and they're literally so strong, they're literally so flexible, they're so impressive. And it's because they went slowly their whole life. They weren't working towards a certain goal or a trophy or a competition. All that was important to them was to live long. So Gemini and Capricorn, but mostly Gemini, this I'm talking to you. The goal should be to live long, okay? It's not, stop thinking that you're going to die tomorrow. Yes, that could happen, but you don't need to manifest that it does. Make your plans long term. Why did I begin with that actually? Working out, breaking your body. What card came out actually? The Wheel of Fortune, ego death, right? So I'm just gonna say it one more time. You experienced an ego death. You Gemini, you experienced an ego death. It hurt like hell. It hurt like hell. Okay, but you've been reborn. You're on the other side of it. You're happy, you're singing, you're dancing. You look at Capricorn and you can see the signs. You're like, oh, you're going through your ego death. Like, it's okay, babe. Like, I know what you're going through. I'm not saying that I'm enlightened. I'm just saying that I'm on the other side of that. I'm happy now. I know you're sad, but eventually you do get happy and you do accept it. And that's being reborn. And so you went through the death and now you're a baby. But being a baby is still hard as fuck, right? Because you're learning something new. You're like, okay, I learned from my mistakes there, or I learned from my life there. I learned from the ego death. Now that's a part of me, and I'm going to keep living life. I'm not going to forget. I might forgive, but I'm not going to forget. I'm going to take it with me and keep going. Do not fall into the trap that something like that isn't going to happen again. You might think like, oh, sure, that could happen again because I know how to handle that. But the next ego death you experience is not going to be the exact same. Not at all. You're going to experience completely different things. It's going to feel just as painful, but in a completely different way. So I think you should be grateful that it's not in that way because obviously you already lived that way. Say that like your old ego death that was in your knee, you survived a knee injury and now it's completely healed and you're like, in fact, like you've built your muscle around it and you're like, damn, like I can handle it. I can handle taking a beating to the knee because it's stronger now. But the next ego death that's going to happen is going to be in your neck, something you're not going to expect at all. And it's going to be scary. I'm not going to lie to you. That is scary. That is walking into the dark. But at least if you don't go towards people that are starving with you, you're going to be more nourished if you're on your own. You're going to find the way. Maybe this neck injury or this ego death that happens in another part, you know what I'm saying? Maybe this next ego death is going to show you or like nourish you in some way. Maybe that's what you have to go through in order to finally receive nourishment from the universe like you want, right? Well, let's ask because I just got a little scared of the people around me. What does Gemini have to do in order to receive nourishment? Strength. Keep pushing, babe. Put yourself first. Only worry about yourself. I know Gemini is the twin sign, is the lover sign, and it's like you really crave that connection. But connect to yourself. And I know you're gonna hear that and you're gonna be like, what the fuck? Fuck you. Like, you can't cuddle yourself. Yes, you can. And you're gonna be like, what are you talking about? And I'm gonna be like, bro, just trust me. Just like, this is the ego death. It just feels better. Compared to Capricorn, Capricorn is going through something that you already went through. You're going through your own ego death right now, where you have to learn how to experience joy again, and contentment, and fulfillment, and nourishment. That's what you're working towards. And it feels super uncomfortable because you're thinking like, you're basically starving yourself and you're like, how could I be doing that? Why am I doing that? um, I don't know, but that's why you're going through this hurdle at the moment, and once you overcome it, you're going to be so full by the end of it, all on your own. Maybe you'll have another person, maybe you'll get everything you ever wanted in life. You will, emotionally speaking, you will. You just have to get through this current hurdle. Coffee break before we move on. Just one more card. Gemini's feelings towards Capricorn to clarify. Six of Pentacles. You could really care about this person, but I feel like it might be, it's hard to lie to you because you understand energy. You know when something is fake. You know when someone is being truthful. But Capricorn specifically is coming to you with a false energy. They're coming as a Taurus, but they're actually a Capricorn. So they're coming as like, oh, I'm chill, I'm cool, oh, I'm connected to spirit. And you, Gemini, see that part of them, or you see that they really want to get there. And so you want to coddle them and you want to be there for them and you want to, help them along. You basically care for them, like literally like a little brother. You want to help them. But it's going to go faster if they just do it on their own. Like, I feel like they are, honestly, why did I say that? Actually, it's gonna go faster if they do it on their own. I already said the Capricorn part. I already said to Capricorn, I said that as long as you don't blame anyone else, it's gonna happen faster. That's how it's gonna go faster. Anything else for Gemini's feelings towards Capricorn? Ace of Wands. Interesting. Can you clarify that? 10 of Wands. Ace to the 10 of Wands? What does that mean? Oh my god. Clarify that. Ace, Gemini's feelings towards Capricorn, Wheel of Fortune? What are you talking about, Spirit? I'm so confused. Gemini's toward Capricorn? Come on, one more. Gemini towards Capricorn? Gemini towards Capricorn? Honestly, I think that you could give them your all. Gemini, if you want, you could give Capricorn your all of it. You could give them your all, and they could definitely see you giving them. Oh my God, Capricorn is going to see you, Gemini, and they're going to be literally inspired because they're going to see what the end result of what they actually want looks like. And that's why it's triggering them, because they think they're there, and then you come into their life and you're actually there, and they're like, that's why they might blame you sometimes, where it's like, oh, it's because no, they never like take they that. Do you remember when I was saying like Capricorn feels insecure around Gemini? It's because Gemini is literally there. Is there Gemini is at the point where Capricorn sidetracked their way to. They were like, I'm gonna be this macho man, I'm gonna be the life of the party, I'm going to be like the strongest person here. And Gemini really is that. And Gemini is giving all of this power, all of this spirit to Capricorn. And Capricorn can't take that away from you, Gemini. So do not be afraid. Do not be afraid. All in due time. I don't think Capricorn can really do anything to you. I don't think Capricorn can hurt you. I don't think you should be afraid even of going towards Capricorn. All I'm saying in this reading is that Capricorn is starving. Like, Capricorn is not gonna fill your cup. Okay? You're gonna fill your own cup. And honestly, with these last cards coming out, I don't think you should cut Capricorn out of your life. Did I say that? I don't think you should cut Capricorn out of your life at all. I think it's a matter of time, okay, Gemini? I think you could definitely have hope for them. I think you could definitely support them, but I just think you should not expect them to give you anything. You should give to yourself, and Capricorn should give to themselves. Okay. I didn't say that. Look back on the transcript. I never said that. That wasn't me. That wasn't me. Okay. Now, the connection between these two twin souls. Let's see. We got the High Priestess, and we got this otherworldly looking dude. The Priestess. Two worlds. Two worlds who, like, just aren't letting each other come into their, I don't know. I think, can you clarify actually? Borders. 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 Four of Wands. I just don't think y'all are at that place yet where you're like super, super duper close. I don't think y'all are at that place where you could celebrate together. I don't think y'all are at that place where you're like, I think that if one person came into the other person's place and area, that person would be like, actually, why are your roses red? Mine are white. That's weird. Where's the freaking Ursa Major? The Ursa Major is over there. Like, that's weird. This whole place is off. Just judgment. Like, can you clarify the priestess came out though? And there's this like weird looking alien thing where the eyes are in the cheeks and you're like, are you human or are you not? So I just want to know the connection between these two people and its strength. And its Ace of Wands. Aries and Leo, and Six of Wands and Leo, and Mars and Aries and Leo, and God, like, jealousy. Maybe one person is more successful than the other. I think Gemini might be more successful than Capricorn. What does this have to do with the connection? God, the connection is so hard to pin down. God, what have you done? You're a pink pony girl. Can you dance at the club? Oh, mama, I'm just having fun. I'm a stage in my heels. It's where I belong, down at the Pink Pony Club. I can't go that high because I'm in public and I'm scared. Confidence. Maybe y'all are teaching each other how to be more confident. Confirmation. Anything else? Okay. We're actually going to go to the oracle cards because it is kind of hard to pinpoint down what exactly is the center of this connection. It's nice. It's wholesome. Like, you guys aren't bad for each other necessarily. It's just that, like, no. I don't think you're bad for each other at all. No, I just think you're at different stages. God, what have you done? You're a pink pony girl, and you dance at the club. Oh, mama, I'm just having fun on the stage in my heels. It's where I belong, down at the pink pony club. I'm gonna keep on dancing at the pony club. I'm gonna keep on dancing down in West Hollywood. I think one of you, or maybe both of you, just want to like be the star, and it's about like seeing the star in the other person, seeing the artist and the power in the other person. I think this is the very last card in the deck, and I'm right. It's the Santa Muerte. It's the death card, but like this guy is very happy to die. He's very happy to go. He's very happy to see Santa Muerte there, which I think means like which I think is like the goddess who with the oh my god, what saint like Sante, right? Muerte, death, like the person or the spirit that is leading you to death. Like this man is very happy to go because he's going into a crib. He's going into his grave, but there's literally a crib there. Are you ready to hear this? Santa Muerte. We have come to the last card of the world of actions and the last card of this oracle, which concludes with a new beginning. Santa Muerte reminds us that all the energy we have at our disposal is a loan we will have to pay back, and it is thus our responsibility to transform it in the most beautiful and positive way possible throughout our existence. This energy was present in the moments it allowed us to exist as we lay in our cribs after birth, and it lovingly holds our hand when we face a new staircase in the grave. Just as life generates death and death generates life, this card invites us to accept any change, transformation, or drastic severing of perspective with a smile. Make a firm decision of what to cut and what to change in your life, otherwise, no betterment will be possible. Gemini and Capricorn, I think a temporary cut off. Because I think this person is great. I think this person is a mirror soul. Okay, I think you both have the power to really stand out together in public specifically. But I think at the moment, you two should realize that you are your own soul without the other. Okay? What a beautiful card. Pink pony club. All right, that's the end of this reading. Before I go, I should have said this at the very beginning, but I might just write it in the description. But what I'm thinking is that you don't need to be either sign in order to resonate with this reading. You don't need either sign in your birth chart. The signs are just a good way to give me structure because, well, obviously, this specific connection reading was a suggestion from my most favorite, lovable, number one supporter, Maya. So obviously it's still a collective reading. Obviously it's still open to the public, and you might hear it and you might think that, oh, I'm not Gemini, I'm not Capricorn. Like those are just placeholder names technically, and also very specific. That's what that's the reason why I'm doing these connection readings between two zodiac signs, is because I'm like, what do I want to add to the internet? What do I want to add to this community? What do I feel is missing? Specific like zodiac connection readings, because I want it to be super specific, because I want to relate to it, like I want it to be like, because I listen to so many tarot readings, and I feel like just what I'm doing, especially because I'm taking requests, it could just, whoever wants that extra encouragement of this is for me, I'm giving it to you. And also what I thought was missing is long, like, when I read a tarot reading, especially a connection reading, I want to know everything. I want to know, I want the tarot reading to milk it to the bone. Like, I want every single last drop that I can get. Because why are you getting a tarot reading? It's because in real life you're not getting the closure or the satisfaction out of this connection, and you're very curious, or you crave more details. And that's what tarot readings are really great for. It's great to kind of calm your mind. It's great to lead you and help you move towards your highest alignment. Like I said, like I mentioned, the deities and the spiritual guides that I follow, you have your own, but specifically, I have spiritual guides. They help me move towards spiritual enlightenment. Like, they help me go towards the next ego death. I'm not asking to never have ego deaths again. I'm asking to move towards the next one. Like, let's do it. Like, that's the purpose of my life. I forgot one more thing that I wanted to do. So if you made it to the very end of this reading, here is a little extra reading for the connection of Capricorn and Gemini. We're going to do a past, present, future reading. Real quick, just 3 cards. Past. Two cards came out. I'll take all of them. I'll take both of them. Whatever. Present, sorry. 2 cards again. And future. Okay. So the past, 3 of Hearts, 6 of Pentacles. The past, heartbreak, loss, rejection. But it wasn't out of nowhere. It was expected. It was kind of from both sides. I think both sides really hurt each other, or they were very good at, like, sticking it to the bone into both of each other. It was just fair. It was fair. Like, it felt like a loss. It felt like the end of communication forever. But it was fair. Like, it was just natural. Maybe you guys in the past have actually gone through a breakup, or and it was mutual. But, like, maybe in the past you guys have actually already been through an energy of, okay, this is it. We're never going to talk again. The present is the Queen of Spades and the Four of Diamonds. So at the present, I think you guys are probably thinking about each other again, in very much high regards, a lot higher. Like, you're thinking no negative thoughts when you think about this person, but I still think that you're keeping them at a distance. I just think that your head is above the clouds in terms of all of the turmoil that you guys have been through in the past. At the moment, when you guys think about each other, when you communicate with each other, it's about, oh, you're so cool, you're so this, I see your passion, you're so creative. Maybe you see this person has, like, been posting their creative endeavors online, or you can just see their projects coming to fruition, and you're like, wow, this person is really cool. I just think of this person in really high regards. There's not really a lot of bad blood. There's just some distance between you at the moment. And in the future, we have the King of Wands. Spirit with spirit, girl. Macho man. That's what I was talking about from the beginning. That's the caricature that Capricorn really wants to embody, and that's the caricature that Gemini has basically embodied, but isn't too, like, fussed to embody. So I think that the future between this connection is just 2 stars, 2 balls of sunshine, two bright lights. Maybe in the present, you two are even helping through, like, a collision. Maybe in the present moment, you two are colliding, and in the future, it's so that you can be your own balls of gas. And what I mean by that is, maybe you two, for example, maybe you two are, okay, here's, like, a story based on these cards. You two were childhood friends, but you fell off. it hurt. Maybe it was a ghosting. Maybe one of you two are moved away. Whatever. In the current moment, you two are going to school because you both want to be a sun for a planet. And you rekindling your relationship. In the future, you both are going to be the sun to your very own universe, to your very own solar system. I said planet. I was thinking of the moon. So you two are currently in school. You currently are meeting where both of your passion for projects or projects to display your passion, just passion to create and yeah, shine very brightly. You're both coming at this moment in the present. You both want to shine very brightly, and you kind of admire the other person as well. In the future, you both are going to be your own suns for your own solar systems. There's only one sun per solar system, but there's a billion gazillion solar systems out there. But think about our solar system. There's that one sun. For me, solar systems are so unique and so important, each single one of them. But there's multiple, and you two are going to be your own sun for your own solar system. Thank you so much for watching until the end of the video, and I'll be posting another reading very soon, and it's going to be Pisces.